Hello everybody, and apologies for that looping music. I'm afraid I had sudden computer failure on 3 computers. Can everybody please tell me if you can hear me? Just give me a quick yes if you can hear me. The way things are going tonight, I'm not convinced I've got sound, so please, if you can hear me,
I can't.
Give me an indication.
Oh, I can.
Okay, Ying's saying, thank you, Susan, thank you very much. Okay, so again, apologies. Everything is falling over tonight. Three computers, 3 microphones, 3 cameras, every single one of them decided to fail in a row. I think Spirit's maybe trying to tell me something. Okay, so I'll get on with this as quickly as I can. First off, if everybody would please join me in a prayer. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for teaching me the lesson for computers. Thank you for teaching me that I need to buy a new computer. Thank you for opening the door to the other side. Thank you for everybody's patience and waiting for me. And please bring our friends and loved ones forward so that we can all connect tonight. Thank you. Amen. Okay, so if you are used to the way I'm working, shut your ears for a few seconds. If this is your first time tonight, I am a church-trained medium. Before the lockdown, I would work on average in 2 churches a month in Scotland. I've been doing this since the lockdown started. Despite everything not working tonight, usually it does all work, although sometimes everything does fall flat on its face. I try to keep my messages short. I will come to you. I will try and give 2 or 3 lines of evidence. As soon as you can say you know who it is that you've got, then I'll give you the message. Reason for doing that is to give as many people a message as possible. Now, there is always a time delay between me speaking and you reacting. So because of that, I'm not going to ask you for permission to work. If you've asked for a message, we'll take that as permission. I say we, my wife is just out there. She's chairing me, supporting me. She's the person that allocates who gets a reading. Now, we do not do them in the order that you ask for them. Quite simply, your name goes into a box. My wife, who is also a spiritualist, puts her hand in the box and draws your name out. So it means if you've been here from the beginning and you don't get a message, don't panic. We will try and get to you. But I finish working at 9 o'clock on the spot because I run an open circle at 9:30. Anybody that's here that's not been to one of my open circles before is welcome to join me. I will put up the website address in a moment. You do have to go to that website address, fill out a very simple form, and you have to do it before 9:10 if you want to come. That gives me enough time to finish the service and send the Zoom links out to everybody in a mass email. If you leave it any later than 9:10, I'm not saying you won't get the link, but don't be surprised if you don't. That's pretty much about it, except to say when I start giving the evidence, give me clear yes, no's, and don't knows. However, make sure you know what it is you're saying yes or no to. The reason for that is very simple. With the time delay, it's quite often I'm giving 2 or 3 lines of evidence. And if I then start getting yes, for the sake of argument, let's say I get yes, no, yes. I need to know what you're saying yes to and what you're saying no to, so I can go back to Spirit and try and work out what it was that they were trying to give me. So I'm not asking you to give me additional information, but say yes or no or don't know to what you're saying yes or no to, don't know to. So for the sake of argument, if I say I've got a man coming forward who was bald wearing glasses, say yes, bald glasses. That's a bit simplistic, but just make it clear that in the message, you're telling me what you're saying yes or no to, so that if I get a no, I can go back and try and clarify it and get further evidence. And if I get a yes, I know that I can move forward. Not sure what the time delay is tonight. It does vary week to week, and it does make sometimes it very difficult to keep the connection to spirit and the connection with yourself. We are doing the best that we can. It's a lot easier when you're all in the same church hall or on a stage, a theatre, or if it's a group of people like a house party. But obviously, I can't see you. I'm having to connect just to the connection over the internet with spirit, doing the best that we can. Last week, for example, I got 2 spirits coming forward, and I don't usually do an open message, but I went to somebody, went to the wrong person, did it as an open message. It actually was quite funny because I had a woman that was dumb and deaf, and 4 people tried to say that they knew somebody in spirit. And I got about another 2 lines of evidence, and we still had the 4 people saying that they could take that evidence. Now that's basically why I, as a medium, I'm very antagonistic towards open messages, despite the fact that slap myself on the face. I did it last week and did it twice last week. England tends to teach to do open messages. Scotland tends to teach to go direct. So I am very much in the go direct camp, because when you throw it out, you can trip yourself up. For example, I had one person attack me during the week because they'd watched the video, and basically they accused me of being a charlatan, despite the fact that there were about another 15 messages in there that at least about 10, 12, 13 people were saying yes, yes, yes to everything I was saying. As a medium, you're not 100% right, because sometimes you get the wrong spirit trying to connect to the wrong person. I'm trying to interpret what the spirit's giving me, and I'm doing time delays. So just bear that in mind when I'm giving the messages. That's pretty much all I've got to say. So as I was saying, if you want a message, say you want a message. My wife Ying will put your name in the box. Other than that, here we go. So I'm coming to Mandy Nixon. Mandy, I've got a man coming forward. Difficult to judge age. He's certainly older than me. I'm guessing that this is just a guess based on what he looks like, but late 60s, early 70s, white hair, and I think at some point he also had a beard. I don't think he had the beard his entire life, but at some point in his life he had quite a beard. He's wearing a sort of sheepskin woolen coat. Quite a stocky man, not particularly tall, but not small either. Broad, sort of good set of shoulders. So, Mandy, can you recognize who I'm talking about? So, Mandy, are you still with me? And can you take who I'm talking about? So, Mandy, that's a man, late 60s, early 70s, stocky build. So, Mandy, are you still with me? Mandy, are you still here? I'm not sure what the time delay is yet, but
15 to 20 seconds.
Okay, so Ying is saying that we've got a 15 to 20 second time delay. Mandy, I'm going to keep this for a few more seconds. It has been that long and I haven't had a response from you. So, Mandy, I've got a man coming forward for you. Late 60s, early 70s. Sorry to repeat myself, but with a time delay, some point in his life he had a beard. So, Mandy, I'm sorry, Mandy, but if you don't come forward pretty quick, I'm going to move on to the next person. So, Mandy, are you still with us, Mandy, or have we lost you? Mandy? Okay, I'm sorry, Mandy, I'm going to have to move on. Okay, coming to Nicola Cunniff. Nicola Cunniff. Nicola, I've got a woman coming forward. A very, character-wise, very straight-laced. You wouldn't mess around with this woman, let's put it that way. You wouldn't. I'm almost going to say she doesn't have a sense of humor, the way that she's presenting herself. Very strong-willed, very straight, short black hair. Quite elderly. A I would say somewhere in the late, similar to the last man actually, late 60s, early 70s. She's beginning to get some grey hairs, but she's still predominantly black hair when she passed, but very straight. I mean, down to about here, maybe slightly curved in the way. So, Nicola, are you still with us, Nicola? We seem to be losing people. Nicola, Kenneth, are you still with us? Nicola, are you still with us? Okay, Nicola, if you can't give me a quick yes, you're still with us. Nicola, are you still with us? Nicola? Okay, I'm sorry, Nicola, I'm going to have to move on. Okay, coming to Susan Littlefield. Susan Littlefield. Susan, I've got a man coming forward. Thank you, Susan. So, Susan, I've got a man coming forward. Quite elderly. I think I'm getting pains in my stomach. Maybe not so much pain, but breathing. Very, very much breathing issues before he passed. It's like I'm trying to take a deep breath and I can't breathe out properly. Very, very much sort of like a sigh breathe when I'm breathing. Okay, Susan, so it's you that's having the problem with the breathing then. The man is, no, it's a man that I've got, Susan. It's not your grandmother. I have a man coming forward. He's got, well, let's put it this way, if it was a woman, she's got quite a long uncut hair on her chin. So I really don't think it's your grandmother. He is curly hair, grey curly hair, and he's got yellow teeth. Very, very stained teeth, almost as though he's been. I used to get stained teeth as a child from taking penicillin, and my teeth, not so much now, but when I was younger, they were stained yellow. His teeth are like that as well. Age-wise, I'm putting him somewhere in his, 70s. Definitely in his 70s. I think I get the feeling he had memory issues as well before he passed. Confusion. So, Susan, does any of this make sense to you? He was wearing glasses. Okay, Susan, so you can't take the man then. Okay. Something about his shoes or his feet. I get the either he's wearing shoes that are too small for him, or he's got very small feet. But he definitely had an issue with his feet. Something about his forehead as well. Very big forehead, and he's making forehead out of proportion, size-wise, to his head. Drawing attention to his forehead, so it's confusion, something, maybe something with maybe pain in his head, mental issues with the head. Sorry, but I'm not getting anything more, Susan. So I'm sorry, Susan, but I'm going to move on. If you don't recognize the man, I'm sorry. Okay, Alison. Coming to Alison O'Donnell. And Susan, before I move on, this is not a private reading. I can't get specific evidence like that. If we were doing a private reading and we were sitting down for half an hour, that's fine. But I'm trying to keep the messages as short as I can so that I can get through as many as I can. And I'm sorry, but if you don't recognize the man, I'm going to have to move on. Last week, I was throwing it open as an open message. I'm not doing it this week, given what happened last week. So I'm coming to Alison O'Donnell. Alison. Hang on, just going to come back to Susan for a second. Okay, Susan, well, that's too specific. I still feel it's masculine man that I've got, though. So I'm just going to give you the message that they're bringing forward. If you can accept that as your grandmother, I still feel I've got a masculine spirit. So I'm not going to try and make this fit what you're giving me. But if you can take it as your grandmother, okay. He or she wants to talk about a green suitcase. So do you have a green suitcase in your house? I think it's an old suitcase filled with old material, covered in dust. So maybe in a basement or in an attic or a cupboard somewhere. He wants you to go and look at it. I'm just going to leave you with that, Susan. There's something in the suitcase. It may just be to identify him if it's not your grandmother, or something in the suitcase that you need to look at. So I'll leave you with that. So, Alison, sorry for that slight detour. Coming to Alison. Okay, Alison, I've got somebody who works with animals, and I don't mean dogs and cats. Some sort of association with this, and it's a man and bats. And I don't mean Batman TVs. It's maybe he doesn't. If he didn't work with bats, he certainly had some sort of association with bats. He's dressed up as though he works with them. He's got heavy, don't know how you would describe it, coat type overalls, as though you were going through cages or caves to work with animals. So, Alison, the man is rounded face, sort of short, chubby, right? Very. If you can imagine somebody's face on a football, now I'm not saying the man's head's a football, but that's what he's showing. He's deliberately making his head shaped round like a football to show who he is. Like if you see him in a photo or if you remember him, his facial features are curved and rounded. Bald patch, short black hair. So, Alison, does any of this make any sense to you? A man that at some point in his life had some sort of association or worked with bats.
I cannot hear you now.
Okay, Ying is saying she's got a hearing problem. So, do we have a hearing problem? Can you hear me?
I can't.
Is anybody else having problem hearing me?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, apparently the sounds, okay, thanks for that, Alison. Right, Alison, so you can't recognize the man, okay. Right, this is too specific, so I'm going to open this up. Can anyone take a man in spirit who worked with bats? Very specifically, if he didn't work with bats, he had some sort of association with keeping bats. So this is a man, rounded face, very, very specific. He works or cared for or was involved in some way with bats. And I don't mean drawing bats and I don't mean Batman the movie. I mean literally wild or tame bats. So can anybody take this man? So it's an open message. Can anyone take a man in spirit who worked with bats? Okay, sorry, I'm going to have to move on. We're not doing very well tonight. I think this is partly me being thrown off with the computer blowing up in my face. Okay, coming to Christine Basil Della. Christine. So, coming to Christine. Christine Basadella. Christine, I've got someone coming forward who passed quite young in age, about 30, somewhere mid to late 30s. It's a man. Very short hair. And I get the feeling it was passing suddenly. It's like a car crash or a heart attack. Don't know how he died, but very, very sudden death. So, Christine, can you recognize a man somewhere in his 30s, sudden death, passed to the other side? Christine, are you still with us? Christine?
People say it's constantly working on. People are still on your open message. It's not too late.
Okay. Christine, are you with us? We're getting feedback that the connection is not very good tonight.
It's very slow.
Okay, people, I'm going to call tonight an end. I'm really sorry about this, but I'm getting feedback from people that the transmission is not getting through. Obviously,